That was one of the most complicated things we've ever collectively assembled.
I hope it wasn't too much.
No. No, it was fine. Would have been easier with some of Darm's help, but...
You do make a good team.
I know. And here I'm down an apprentice too.
No more learning to smith.
Now. I'm not saying that. We just need to figure out what comes next together. Which brings me to the question of the hour. You were already a Norian. Why did you want to be my apprentice anyway?
Rambralem.
Oh! That makes so much more sense. You could have just told me. That's a cultural thing for you, isn't it?
Oh, you know. Yes. Very much so. But yes, Sola. I'm sorry. I was afraid if you dug too hard into my past, you might learn about the Norians.
And they don't like people digging.
No, they truly don't. That is your answer, though.
And this is your intricate doodad. I cannot wait to see what it does. Sev, did you see my... Never mind.
This airlift should be perfect, Bryn.
Right. Done.
That's all we needed. The others have been helping me with a little project on the side. A surprise for you.
No hints.
You'll see.
What has Sev been building? What's all this, big guy?
The culmination of all our efforts, Bryn.
He wanted it to be a surprise.
Consider me impressed. But what exactly does it do?
He hasn't told you?
As Casman said, I wanted it to be a surprise.
Sev, we all do better work with context. This is something you're going to need to get used to.
Yeah. You're a weaver now. I heard you say so yourself.
It's the culmination of a Norian dream. But unlike them, I'm not going to use it to put a nation in a stranglehold. No. I'm going to change the weather. For you.
For me?
Yes. It will take some resources, so let's be judicious, but yes. We can change the weather before your expeditions.
So all those patterns I collected?
Critical to calibrating things. Weather and miasma alike. The creatures have been exposed to so many wild environmental swings. They were affected in ways I could use to calibrate to the aerolith's patterns.
And that's what Dom was helping with?
Everyone has helped, Bryn. Literally everyone. No politics, no backstabbing. I could get used to this.
Good. All that stuff wastes time and energy.
You said this will take resources. Am I hunting more patterns, or...?
Nothing so dire.
Bryn, you've got enough to worry about. Let us sort it. We'll treat it just like upgrading the camp. Maybe I end up trading with the Hearthsiders. Maybe we do a little alchemy. We'll handle it.
Well, this is incredible. What's involved with actually making it happen?
It's... well, it's not simple for me. But for you, I'll keep it simple. If we want to make a change before you leave, we can do it as part of the preparation. The aeroliths are all connected. And the device we created will let me give them a... let's call it a shove for a day or so.
We've run some limited tests, and everything holds up. It's really rather ingenious.
And we'll give you quite the edge. Imagine tossing a drought when a frost creature is hunting.
It can affect miasma, too, yes?
Yes, it can. What we don't know is what effect it can have on the source directly. Let me run some more tests. But I'm optimistic we have a solution. In the meantime, the Enclave's our sandbox now. Just ask if you want me to change things.
You look like you've got something in your mind, Sev.
Struggling a little, perhaps. I find myself torn.
Between Casmin's stews and Darn's spiced pork? Same.
Pork. Stew gets in my fur. That aside, I find myself both wanting to tear down the Norians and redeem them. Surely not everything they did was self-serving politics. There had to be some craft or artistry behind it.
That's the part of Norian-ness that appeals to you?
Recently I found records, experiments to improve flow rates across the tapestry.
Better pipes.
Pretty much. The team was working on it right around the time the surge hit.
Any idea where?
Not too far from here. Odd they'd set up in a swamp, but perhaps it was a stress test.
We're going to have to fix the Enclave, eventually. Better pipes can't hurt. I'll check it out.
You are tireless, Bryn.
I wouldn't say tireless. Just responsible. That is what a point does.
You're right. But we all notice how hard you work. I know what it feels like to work without praise. Feels good to shine a little sun on your achievements.
Have I ever told you how much I enjoy watching your expeditions on the Scry?
You too?
Look, it's no secret that when Aurea injured her wing, I was skeptical of you taking over expeditions. So I started watching you to make sure things were going well.
You mean to make sure I didn't screw up?
Fine. That's what I was doing. At least at first. On one of your first expeditions into the Hollow, I watched you take a swing at that massive Archon thinking it was inactive. Then, when its eye lit up, these visions of you dying started swarming me. I panicked and asked Aurea if you were ready for this, hoping she'd pull you out immediately. Then you began climbing the Ark, and it was like everything in my head just went quiet. That does not happen often. You had this serene look on your face. Like this was exactly the challenge you'd been waiting a lifetime for.
It was.
When you took it down without breaking a sweat, I was secretly pretty impressed.
I like hearing you had faith in me, even back then.
It's only grown tenfold. After that, I enjoyed watching you on the Scry. Knowing you're out there, keeping all of us safe, relaxes me and keeps the visions at bay.
You know, I can't stop thinking. Could Stannard have fixed the weather?
From what Sev said, the former I was more a political animal than an expert.
Yeah, that makes sense. If only he'd shared what he had access to with people who were halfway competent. Anyway, I just hope Sev can keep digging. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
How are you feeling about Sev, Sola?
Delighted.
Not upset to lose an apprentice?
There will be more, and he's just a few yards away. I'm proud of him. And controlling the weather itself. Incredible. I've learned from a lot of years on the road that change is the natural way of things.
Our time in the Enclave has certainly proven that.
Anticipating change and finding joy in it, the best thing you can do in your life. Is that bottled magma?
I've got one. I can't believe it's still warm. And you can feel the magic pulsing through it.
I wonder if proximity to the coral has affected it in some way. Intriguing to think of weaver smiths and priests working side by side down here.
The preachers you grew up with would launch an hour-long diatribe at the very thought, yeah?
An hour would just be the introduction.
This is pleasing. Detailed smithing logs with Xavier's name on them. Lots of sketched out designs, mostly in the margins.
Doodles always help me think too.
Think that's all I'm going to find down here. Get your research hat ready, Lane. There's a lot.
I do not need a hat. This is really very clever.
You figured it out then?
Yes, Xavier's idea was to use an alchemical process similar to what Dharma and I just did to treat the coals. Elements left over from weaving flame strands distilled and used to treat magma.
Literal magma? The blood of the earth?
Enchanted magma. Measured precisely from one of Xavier's containers, he could delicately control temperature in a forge or foundry.
Sola will be over the moon. I'll let her know.
And I'll collate the more technical details. They'll be ready when she is.
Magma. Can you believe it?
Is it not lava?
I thought it was only lava if it bubbled up from underground. But now I'll have to ask Lane.
You heard the news then?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bryn. We ruined the surprise.
It's fine. Just nice to see you so happy.
We're confident that between the two of us, we can make Xavier's plan work.
And I'm keen to try it out. I was up sketching all night, and I have an idea for some armor to act as a test. If it works, we'll gather more. The veil has to open someday, and with this magma, we could be on the road for months.
Or maybe we'll stay. Either option provides you many potential students.
Or maybe, just maybe,
We could do both.
we'll make it work. After we get this bloody enclave sorted out. Right, Bryn?
I have every faith we will.
So, I strongly suspect shenanigans, but also thank you.
About the stove?
Oh, absolutely. But shenanigans almost always come from a place of love.
Or lead to one?
Well said. And this forge is going to be invaluable, so we all benefit, including the future students I'm imagining up.
Any standouts in your illusory class?
There's a shy, red-headed lad named Carlos. He's going to go far. I just know it.
Bryn, I was just thinking about how we managed to trap the heat of molten rock itself.
And you and your wife seem through a complicated patch?
I never doubted we would find a way through. This time was different than the other spats we've had. I am very grateful for your help. I would not know what to do without Sola. She is very much my guiding star.
You're welcome, you big romantic. Just keep talking to her, and the nights will be cloudless.
Indeed. Indeed.
It's nice to have the camp stove working properly again. Even if it took Casmin quietly tossing our coal supply into the hollow one night to make it happen.
Wait, she did?
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that. But Dom and Sola have reconciled, which I suspect was her whole plan, so hopefully it's okay. Still, Kaz doesn't like for people to know she's a romantic at heart.
Oh, well, I am very glad you mentioned this. Thank you, Lane.
Just go easy on the teasing. I don't want her to serve my stew cold all week.
So, I was having a chat with Lane.
Oh?
Said something about you stashing coal outside the camp.
Oh, gods, they saw that.
Sure did.
Oh, I was so careful. Listen, Bryn, you know why I did it, right?
Because our enchanter and smith need to keep working together.
Yes, and they need to keep talking. They're so good together. So, I did what I had to. Just don't tell anyone, okay?
Kaz,
Yeah?
I think everyone knows. Except maybe Dom.
Gods, that's embarrassing.
You might want to sneak that coal back into the stocks at some point.
Already did. It was distracting to know the count was wrong.
This is the Norion site, sir.
Yes, they were working out of that cave.
Sheltered, yet deadly. Probably wasn't that way before the surge. Abandoned in a hurry.
Anyone who survived the tapestry overloading probably ran for the nearest loom gate.
Shipping crates. Marked Project Junction 4X9.
Sounds familiar. I'll look into it.
And then the priest says, that's not how you extinguish the holy flame.
I thought you never extinguished the holy flame.
They make certain exceptions when it threatens centuries-old tapestries.
You never talked about your time in the church.
They're not happy memories.
No. But they're yours.
Then let's not fight again so I have more time to share them.
That's unreasonable. Let's just make sure we're talking.
Of course, my love. After all, I love you like I love you.
I love you too.
About our Norian findings, would you forgive an observation before we start?
Sure. What's up?
This is the second time I've been able to just collaborate. The Axel helped me without question. Aram could get used to this.
And what did the combination of your excellent minds discover?
That marking you found, Junction 4X9, it's a location code. The Norians and Enclave had a system to track the flow of raw magic. The Khan and I did some archival digging, and we know where it's located.
You wanted to find something practical. This sounds like it counts.
Oh, Bryn, yes. I needed this. Something skillfully wrought and worthy of study. Even uncovering how they balanced the pressure would take years. Amazing.
Is that a common way to track piping?
Only for Norians. Our waterworks are hidden. It keeps their secrets. But also makes them hard to track.
In Taza, you mean?
Yes, but here too. The Enclave was invested in keeping the tapestry out of sight.
Since you know where this Junction X... whatever... is, am I heading there?
Not just yet. I don't want to waste your time.
Oh?
My working theory is that they used that junction to rebalance the flow of raw magic to their worksite.
To what end?
If they wanted to test new piping technology, they'd need contents for the pipe. Water wouldn't behave like raw magic does. Compression and so on. Major junctions had valves that changed the pressures and flow, but took specialized tools to operate.
How specialized, exactly?
They were Norians. Why use a wrench when you can make a special secret wrench?
A wrench hunt, then. Sounds like a trick they play on junior artisans.
I doubt we'll just find one lying around. We did, however, find the designs. Encoded, of course.
I bet Solo's already heating up the forge.
Yes. I wish they didn't use such exotic alloys, but magical flow control requires them.
It's okay, Sev. I'm on it.
These Norian designs are really something.
Looking over the fancy wrench?
Sev said you'd call it that. But yes, I've never seen anything so over-engineered in my life. Sev tells me they built it inscrutable so that no one could copy it. I simplified it down for our purposes.
That will make it easier to produce more.
Lot to learn from the Norians. Both what to do and cautionary tales. Takes you back, doesn't it? Just like when we first arrived, trying to get things working, unaware there's a whole twist of piping under our feet.
One day we're just trying to get a loom gate functional.
And the next, we're going to have to face the heart of the Enclave and figure out how to fix this damned place.
If anyone can do it, it's Bryn.
Oh, of course you can. Anyway, enough of that. Do we need to send a team?
No. The valves were designed to be worked easily, even by one person. All it should take is a steady eye and a strong arm.
Asher strong? Or do I need to channel my inner big burly Ram?
You should be fine. That said, I do think all of you would look better with tusks.
You're entitled to your incorrect opinion.
Ha! So, feel up to some junction hunting, Bryn.
So much safer than my usual quarry. Less mobile, too.
junction now. The dissolution chamber. The machinery in here looks complex, perhaps a part of the tapestry.
A little, but seems stable now.
Perfect.
Certainly easier than loom gate repair.
If we could have stopped the flow with a tool like this, the Hollow's loom gate would have been trivial.
That should have cleared the Norian worksite.
Only one way to find out. Good news, Sam. The cave looks tangle-free.
That seals it then. Ah, literally and figuratively.
So, is this broken one the new, improved piping?
No, they hadn't replaced it yet. We can run our tests later.
First things first, we need to deal with the source problem before we can even think about the tapestry.
One problem at a time. I agree.
We have our Norian prototypes. How you feeling? Theories proven, research recovered.
A successful collaboration by any measure.
What did you find in the notes from the cave?
Exactly what I was hoping to see. Advanced material sciences. Results from experiments on pressure containment.
Unsuccessful containment.
True. But in fairness, it wasn't the new design that failed.
So, we know the cave was inaccessible because of the leak.
Yes. Suggesting most other tangles are from damage to the tapestry. Major breakages always seem to have one nearby.
If there's raw magic in that part of the tapestry, at least.
Exactly. Now that we know how to shut down a part of the tapestry, we should be able to make repairs.
I'm glad I could help, Sev.
More than anything, this has reminded me that not all Norians are scheming political animals.
Some are you.
Well, not anymore. But yes, some are more interested in sharing their expertise and pushing it further. And that's enough to give me hope that maybe if we get out of here, there's a way I can reform things.
Or at least open some eyes.
Exactly. That's a problem for the future, though. For now, there are tests to run. The more I dwell on the prospects of repairing the tapestry, the more excited I become.
The experimental piping is working, then?
Yes, it is. I've been running numerous tests. And for me, this is a chance to do some actual engineering, away from the Order's influence. Those who cross them disappear in the night. But unless they also have an Ark of Verdance, they can't reach me here.
Norians are really that ruthless.
It was the mystique they cultivated. But who knows how much action they took. That's the problem with secret societies, Bryn. After a while, it's just secrets all the way down.
You are hardly in any position to make lofty demands. The Council convened and unanimously stripped you of your role. You no longer hold the privileges of the Eye.
And how quickly did you convene that council? You hardly waited for my daughter's body to cool.
She is dead because of you. Because of your reckless behavior and deception, no less.
Harun, how dare you? Every decision I've made, every action I've taken has been for her protection.
Abandoning her at the Grand Gate was for her protection. We all saw you on the scry. And that is Khan Arteme to you, Kenrick.
Is this a bad time?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
No. You're more than welcome at Cassidon's Hold. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
I came to offer my condolences. To both of you.
Oh. Thank you.
Intellect can be taught, and creativity can be cultivated. But the kindness Isla embodied is rare. She helped our quartermaster through her darkest hour. I'll always be grateful for that.
She was... exceptional. It's hard to imagine the Enclave will ever recover from this loss.
Then why are you so opposed to giving her the funeral she deserves?
With the Surgeborn swarming Denevron, we can't risk a trip to the Hallowpire Rise.
For generations, every Stanild has received the right of ashes upon death. Isla will not be the exception to this.
Could I perform the rite on your behalf?
You? Don't tell me you're a Hallowpire priestess on top of being a righteous pain in my ass.
Skies, do you want a funeral or not? She's our best option.
Isla saved my life. I want to help you honor her death.
I suppose you do owe her that. Fine. For the rite of ashes, you need to burn an object that was sacred to the deceased upon the High Pyre. As you collect the ashes, you must read a rite aloud to thank the flames for bringing the deceased to rest.
Do you have an object that was sacred to Isla?
Isla's most prized possessions aren't in Cassidon's hold. She had a secret refuge in Dredger's Mire. You're sure to find something. She was always sneaking away at night to work there.
You knew she was sneaking out of Cassidon's hold.
I knew my daughter better than she realized. Return to me with the ashes.
Thank you, Bryn.
Hey, I can't imagine how you must be feeling.
I am broken. Everyone wants a piece of me. Regardless.
Because you're in charge.
For now. Someone had to be. I don't know how I'm supposed to carry on like this. Without her, my support is gone. My foundations crumbled to dust. She wouldn't want me to cry. So I won't.
You can if you need to. I know our Weaver Band is still fairly new here, but you've got our support. All of us.
The funeral will honor her memory. Even if it's not what he wants. She would understand that it's enough. One day at a time, Bryn. That's all we can promise to ourselves.
That might be Isla's secret refuge. It's actually not too far from Lucia's workshop. Isla dedicated her life to restoring the Arks. Darm's right. We will need to continue her research. For now, what might she consider sacred for the A letter from the Axel. I should take it back to her. A toy Archon. That's sweet. Darm, do you think this could work for the Rite of Ashes?
It's perfect.
Huh. Isla also had a copy of On the Workings of Archons, marked with annotations. Just like Lucia's.
Could be useful.
Wait, I'm losing you.
Maybe better now.
Yeah. Weird. The scry was cutting out.
Strange. At any rate, the book could be useful. Once you've completed the ritual, I'll take a look.
I'll need to place the toy ark on the high pyre. Sad to burn such a sweet toy. Now to collect the ashes. Though the flame abates and the ash grows cold, let she who worshipped you rest in eternal warmth.
Beautiful, Bryn.
I'm sure I will. There it is again. The scry is cutting in and out. Dam? Aurea?
We're... Can you hear me now?
You're back.
While you bring the ashes to Cassidon's hold, I'll analyze the scry. Strange is afoot.
I performed the rite, and I brought you the ashes.
Thank you, Bryn. Isla admired you. She would be honored that you did this for her.
It's not how she would have wanted things. I should have been there.
Enough! I know you're grieving. We all are. But you are no longer the Eye. And this disrespectful conduct ends now. You owe Bryn a thank you. And an apology for that matter. And probably a great deal more than that. Not only has she gone out of her way to perform the rite for your daughter, but she saved us all from certain death at the Grand Gate too. None of which she would ever have had to do if it weren't for your...
For my actions! I know! I know! It's all my fault. I should have been there. Not at the temple. At the Grand Gate. I should have stayed. The way she looked at me when I left her there. I'll never forget it. I could fill a city with my mistakes. I should have supported her work. I should never have lied to her. My regrets will drown me.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
My mother used to say, you can drown in your grief, or learn to swim in it. It is unfair that you lost a child, no matter the circumstances. I am so sorry that happened to you. But now you have a choice. You can spend the rest of your days counting the ways you failed your daughter. Or you can dedicate every breath you have left to her.
How?
Just do one small thing a day that would make her proud to call you her father. Start by helping us finish the work you wish you had supported in her life.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. If you'll excuse me. But there is one thing. The Ark in your camp, the one she wanted to restore, it's called the Ark of Verdance. An enchantress named Lucia de Crassus built it.
Lucia.
Consider it a thank you for what you've done. She deserves a spectacle, not some scavenger in an abandoned temple.
You'll take what we can get, Henrik.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the Ark of Verdance?
Please. I've had enough. Just leave me be.
Fine. I understand.
The rite of ashes you performed for Kenrick's daughter was quite a display. I almost shed a tear.
How do you know about that?
I have eyes everywhere.
You're watching me through the other Surgeborn.
There are no other Surgeborn. We are one and the same.
Almost like the way bees work together in a hive?
If that makes it simple for you, close enough. Anyway, pity you couldn't save her. Is that why you dropped everything to perform a funeral rite for someone you barely know?
She was a friend, and you murdered her. Don't expect to survive long enough to kill someone else I care about.
Technically, I did want to kill her. Her limitations are what destroyed her in the end. Funny how magic often provokes overreaching in your kind.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I need you to know, nobody else has been checking in on me like you have. I feel as if I'm alone in the stifling dark. But you are a bright light. Even though everything is very hard. I need you to know that I see what you're doing. Thank you.
Of course. It's just the right thing to do.
You, laying Isla to rest, is what she would have wanted. Despite what her father said. You inspired her to be better. Braver. It respects her memory to the fullest.
It was the least I could do.
Don't diminish your contributions.
You've got our support. Whatever form that takes.
For what it's worth, I appreciate that.
By the way, I found something that you might want to see. It's a letter I found in the Spindle's hideout. It looked like your handwriting. I didn't read it.
I don't understand why you've been so kind to us, Bryn.
It's okay. I'll let you get back to it, all right?
Likewise. You deserve better from him. But that was probably all he's capable of. Come to think of it, we all deserved better from him.
What will you do now?
Take care of my people. Someone needs to. And you? You're going to try to fix the arcs.
Isla saw something in the arcs no one else did. The Enclave's legacy. Innovation and ambition. We can't let her death be in vain. Her work must be finished.
I wish I could help, but arcs were Isla's expertise, not mine. Still, I agree. That arc allowed you to pass safely through the tangles, where Surgeborn go to regenerate. If you're going to try to fix it, consider me heavily invested in your progress.
It's too great an advantage to ignore. I'll keep you updated.
My light. I remember the day you were born, vividly. When I held you, my heart was so full it threatened to break. And I know your mother felt the same way. For all her flaws, she would be so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
Have you ever felt like you couldn't trust the people around you?
A few times. But I try my hardest to rebuild that trust when it crumbles. Some people haven't shown they deserve that effort, so they don't get it. Is there something that's putting you on edge?
It's Sev, and how he was collaborating with the Eye behind our backs.
Oh? I can understand, but you didn't exactly seem blown away by the revelation.
I didn't have time to process it. I have now, and the more I think about it, the more upset I feel. Logically, I understand the situation. I can trace the weave of circumstance that forced his hand and led to his deception. I know he had no choice, and I've even forgiven him. I said the words to his face, so why am I still so angry?
That's a tough one.
It reminded me again of Udea. Will the fear and the manipulation follow me forever? Will it taint everything? The secrets, the lies, the subterfuge. The Maida may seem a balmy paradise, but in reality, it is a toxic swamp. Every fiber of my being is screaming at the prospect of having my life ruined by this again.
All right. It's clear that sitting around base camp chewing on this isn't doing you any good. You need a distraction.
Possibly. What did you have in mind?
The Axel must be overwhelmed right now. Let's find something to help her with.
I'm amenable to this. Shall I let you ask her, or...?
Oh no. You're coming with me.
I Suppose it would be good to catch up with her, and I'll meet you at Cassidy's Hold, then. See you soon.
Bryn and Lane? To what do I owe the pleasure?
We're hoping that there's something you can help us with. Or rather, we're hoping that there's something we can help you with.
I'm not sure I follow.
I've been at a loose end, gnawing on painful thoughts, only growing more despondent in the process.
Huh.
So we're here to focus on problems that are a little more tangible. What can we help you with?
That is very kind of you. I've had a great deal of difficulty keeping on top of things.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We're here to help. Like I said.
Right. I've got a petition from the Scouts here somewhere. Let me find it. Arakim has been nagging me about accessing the Archon's Hearth. Its stores of raw material could busy our Forge Masters for months. Now that I'm technically in charge, I'm loath to follow Kenrick's lead in recklessly sending the Scouts into dangerous situations. What I'm lacking to make that call is intelligence on the Archon's Hearth. Our documentation is decades out of date.
I've already spent a lot of time in there, actually. It was pretty hot, from what I recall.
Dangerous too, one would assume. Can you elaborate on what you saw in there?
The most interesting part was where they grew the coral. I could feel the magic running through it.
It is a reminder that there are still lost secrets to be found.
Exactly. Well, it was only one area that was particularly hot, but all of it was dangerous.
I assume you refer to the Arcane Foundry, then?
Yeah. It was on another level to what you've got here at the Hold, or what we have at camp. I can't imagine how many Archon parts they produced per day. While exploring where the Arcs were assembled, I couldn't help but imagine how busy it must have been back before the Surge. Archons seem big when I'm fighting them, but the scale feels totally different when they're attached to a scaffold.
Fascinating.
Anyway, there's lots going on in there. Do you think it's safe enough to send in the Scouts?
Not quite. I still have grave concerns about the fluctuating heat levels.
I believe I may have a solution for that. A potion that will maintain your body temperature even in the hottest conditions. I don't quite have the equipment to make it yet, but the knowledge is there.
That's wonderful news. That said, I would like a demonstration to be sure they work.
A fair stipulation. Some sort of combat encounter in the Archon's Hearth under the hottest possible conditions. Fighting an Archon that relies on fire magic would be ideal to demonstrate the potion's efficacy.
You know I'm always up for a challenge.
I have no doubt in your abilities after what I've witnessed you achieve.
Well then, I'll be back once I've felled a mighty construct.
Hey.